Kakbhushundi arrived under the banyan tree. He was delighted with Garuda, who listened to the story day after day with great humility, faith, and devotion. Only such a listener gains the full import of this profound story. Then, mentally invoking Sri Ram, Kakbhushundi began his story. Everyone in the assembly at Ayodhya, starting with Rishi Vashisht, was amazed at Bharat's love for Ram. People compared the two brothers. While Sri Ram had departed, leaving them behind, here was Bharat offering to take them all to meet Sri Ram. Instantly, Bharat became the beloved of everyone. The heavy atmosphere in the city gave way to one of joy and animation. Bharat first made all the necessary arrangements for the protection of the kingdom, while the bulk of its citizens were away. He then requested the ministers to carry with them all the material that was required for the coronation ceremony. He wanted to have Sri Ram crowned king in the forest itself and then bring him back. Everyone, including the queens, got ready to depart. Kaikeyi was also included because Ram had sent the message that the three queens were to be treated alike. Rishi Vashisht and his wife Arundhati led the party seated in a chariot. They were followed by other munis and holy men. Next came the army, and behind them the citizens of Ayodhya. Last of all came Bharat, attired in the simplest of clothes. For a large part of the journey he walked barefoot, full of anguish at the thought of Sri Ram, Sita Devi and Lakshman walking in the forest without any footwear. When the party reached Shringaverpur, the tribal chief Nishad Raj made arrangements for their stay in the forest. Initially suspicious of Bharat's intentions vis-à-vis Sri Ram, Nishad Raj was finally reassured that Bharat had only the greatest devotion for his brother. At Prayagraj, when Bharat beheld the Triveni, that is the confluence of the Ganga, Yamuna and the underground Saraswati, an ardent prayer arose in his heart. He prayed neither for the joys of this world nor for those of the one beyond, nor did he seek liberation from the cycle of birth and death. All he asked for was the boon of steadfast love and devotion for the feet of Sri Ram in every birth, no matter how many there were. At that, a voice rang out from the Triveni, declaring that Bharat was noble and that his love for Sri Ram was true and that Sri Ram's love for him was incomparable. Bharat felt great relief on hearing this message. When the party halted at Muni Bharadwaj's ashram, he too chided Bharat for demeaning himself needlessly with guilt and remorse. The Muni saw Bharat as the personification of love for Sri Ram. Had Bharat remained in Ayodhya, he said, then the extremely high ideal of bhakti that he exemplified would have been restricted only to that city. Muni Bharadwaj declared that Raja Bhagirath, an ancestor of Raja Dashrath, had by his tremendous tapas succeeded in bringing the holy Ganga down from the abode of Bhagwan Vishnu. That is why one name of the Ganga is Bhagirathi. Raja Dashrath had gone a step further. He had brought Vishnu Bhagwan himself down to earth in the form of his son Ram. And now Bharat, had established love for Sri Ram in all the realms. Even though the Ram avatar comes to an end, love for Ram endures. That is why this story continues to appeal to all beings throughout the ages. Kakbhushundi fell silent, and there was stillness in the audience after hearing these very sublime and lofty words. Then, resuming his tale, Kakbhushundi said, "In this way, rich in blessings and reassurances from holy men and others, Bharat continued his journey on foot until finally the much loved destination Chitrakoot came in sight. As Bharat approached his destination, the Devtas rained down flowers to soften the ground beneath his sore feet. The clouds offered protection from the burning sun. Prithvi Devi absorbed all the sharp stones and thorns into herself so that Bharat's feet would not get cut. A gentle breeze began to blow. All this was the will of Sri Ram because he knew that his devotee was approaching. The birds along the way sang in the most melodious of voices, and animals in the forest who had first looked at Bharat with trepidation now had their hearts filled with wonder as they witnessed the power of Bharat's love. It caused a surge of love in their own hearts. It was as if all of nature wanted to serve this incomparable Sevak of Sri Ram. As Bharat came closer to his destination, the tall mountain peak where Sri Ram dwelt became clearly visible. Everyone was overcome with joy and devotion, and instinctively everyone fell in prostration as though they were already beholding Sri Ram himself. Kakbhushundi paused for a long moment and then posed a question to his listeners. Do you know what Bharat's journey to meet Sri Ram at Chitrakoot represents? It's the journey from sadness to bliss, hooted the wise owl with great confidence. It's the journey from doubt to conviction, volunteered the pensive pigeon. It's the journey from a sense of incompleteness to a sense of fulfillment, honked a serene swan. Very good, said Kakbhushundi, feeling most delighted. Yes, Bharat's journey to Chitrakoot is the journey of a seeker. Along the way, the seeker encounters so many obstacles and challenges, both within and without. Bharat walked barefoot through all kinds of terrain, which was a physical tapas. Besides his own remorse and guilt, he had to bear the suspicion of those who blamed him for what had happened and who distrusted his motives. He had to overcome his anger towards his mother and the sorrow that she had brought to him. What kept him going was his destination, the feet of Sri Ram that were his refuge. There alone he knew he would find pure love and solace. That is what the seeker wants. Then Kakbhushundi said something even more thought-provoking. Everything, he said, happens by the will of Sri Ram. It is Ram who wanted the greatness of Bharat to be recognized by everyone. That is why he caused this separation from Bharat to take place. Without it, no one would have ever come to know the character of the very shy Bharat. No one would have understood what the words love and devotion really imply. So through this episode, Bhagwan was highlighting the greatness of his bhakta or devotee. And of course, through this, we also see the greatness of Bhagwan. Each one of you, emphasized Kakbhushundi, can also develop the same devotion as Bharat. How? Asked a ponderous peacock in its high-pitched voice. By always living as a sevak of Bhagwan, said Kakbhushundi. And on that happy note, the story session concluded for the day. The birds bowed down to Kakbhushundi and flew away for the night.